Knees and toes.
The shoulders have to do with anything?
Because of what you did to my bold prediction. Yes, I'm taking this too far, but I don't care. We're
The
going.
noise is great for those who are audio only.
What's up, everyone, and welcome into the Buffalo Sports Collective. It is Monday, January 26, 2026. As always, I am PK alongside my co-host Phil, episode 404. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Buffalo Sports Collective, and on X and Blue Sky at Buffalo Sports Co. Don't forget to follow our channel wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at buffalosportscollective.com, and look for the time breakdowns in the description of the show. A overview of what you can expect this week. We obviously have this episode. Phil's off this week because the Bandits were off, so he has no article on Tuesday. Come back next week, and for like the next 6 weeks, something like that. Interview will be out on Wednesday, interviewing somebody from the Colorado Mammoth to help me preview Colorado versus Buffalo. Thursday, we got Week 10 BSC pickems and power rankings, and then we close out the week previewing Colorado versus Buffalo on today's beautiful episode. Sabres last two games, fun times in Saberland. As we said in the last episode, they are our saviors in Buffalo of the two predominantly major sports temes, because I'm not calling the Buffalo Bandits with that league a major franchise yet. Sorry, you're not the next major league yet. Yeah, I guess I'm a little bitter anyways. Early award picks for the NLL. We're going to give our top picks or our honorable mentions on who we think are leading the categories right now, about a third of the way through the season for most teams. Week 9 recap for the NLL. And what everybody's waiting for, I forgot to dress up because, one, they don't deserve it. And two, I was just outside snowblowing, and I don't really feel like dressing up right now. 5th annual BSC Bills Award Show. Our nominees were announced last episode, so if you don't know who's nominated, pause this, go listen to that, then come back and find out who won. We'll go over the Sabres to start the episode. They're back on a 3-game winning streak, Phil. They won their last 2 games since the last time we talked. They were winning when we were recording on Thursday. They finished it off 4-2 over Montreal. And then, by winning Saturday and Montreal losing, they jumped them in the standings. So, Phil, the Buffalo Sabres are in the top 3 of the Atlantic Division. It's insane how far they've climbed. They went from being in the dumpster to in a playoff spot, ready to host a playoff game. It's absolutely bananas how far they've climbed in the standings. And magic what happens when you put in a little bit of effort. But I mean, they still got issues with the power play. 0 for 4 combined these last 2 games, but they're 6 for 6 on the penalty kill.
Do something.
Their penalty kill is fantastic.
It is.
One of the tops in the league. I think they're 5th in the league on percentage wise. Their power play, on the other hand, it's downright putrid. I think having Jason Zucker back in the lineup has definitely helped them. He's got 3 in the last 2 games. Benson, I think I put in our one message that he's a little punk, and I absolutely love him. He's like, I think he's going to be our version of Brad Marchand, and I love it. Like, you hate him when he's on the other team. Like, Florida, he's still playing for Florida. You absolutely hate his guts. I think that's what Zach Benson's going to be doing. He was picking a fight with a 6'5" guy the other day, just like chirping at him. Like, Zach Benson embodies everything that I strive to be. Just like a little crap starter on the ice and just getting under everybody's skin. And you know he's never going to drop the gloves. I ain't going to ever drop the gloves. But I'm going to chirp with the best of them. And I think he's one of the best chirpers in the league because he gets under everybody's skin.
Yeah, they had 2 really good games. Like you said, the power play. Like, for how great they're doing, it's still covering how bad the power play is and how much better this team could be, which is really hard to say right now. What I posted the other day in the chat, that they're like 18-3-1 or something in their last, 22 games. So really difficult to be much better than that, but they could be even better. And again, when it comes to playoffs, if they make playoffs, I feel like they're
both making it. Yeah, I'm in the pool.
We're in.
I'm drowning.
We dove. He is drowning. Maybe I'll save him. We'll see how it goes. But when they're in playoffs, you're going to need power play goals to continue your season, to keep doing better and keep pushing. Like, how great their 5-on-5 has been and is should prove to you that they can do it on the power play. Like it seems, I think it was the Islanders game that it looked like the Islanders had more shorthanded opportunities than the Sabres had power play opportunities on their power play. Like it's bad. It's really bad. But if they can get that fixed, it'll be much, much better looking. But I'll let you go over the two games before I go over my thoughts on them.
Yeah, I really enjoyed them. Lion played in both of them. I'm sorry, UPL played in the Montreal one, but Lion came back, got the shutout. We're back to having too many goalies on this squad.
Ellis needs to go.
Yeah. That was one of their. I think that was Yarmo's first comment. Is we got to do something with these three goalie situation, and now that they're all healthy, you got to do something with them. Like I don't know what their plan is. If they waive any of them, they're definitely going to get claimed. Ellis would probably be the one that you got to release, but I think Lion has the most trade value right now. So I guess it depends on, are you willing to release Ellis with the hopes nobody grabs him and you can get him down to Rochester, even though I don't think that's going to happen, or is it worth trading Lion and then UPL and Ellis are your two goalies? That's not the route I would like to go. I would like to keep Lion on this team because when have we been in the position to say to the Sabres, we want you to add, not sell off these pieces? Like, we don't care about what he would be worth to other teams on a 2-year deal that's worth pennies for what he's doing on this team. I think Yarmo's got two things on his docket right now. I guess three if you want to include the Alex Tuch contract, which I don't anticipate getting done anytime soon, like if at all. I think he's probably going to just stretch this into free agency and say, like, I've seen, like, if I'm Tuch, why would I sign a long-term extension just based on these few games? Like, I'm not coming back in price just because that we've went on this run before. Like, I've seen this before. They've gone on hot stretches before. I don't think any to this length, but then they tank. So if I'm Alex Tuch, I'm not signing a long-term deal. The two things on Yarmo's desk right now are figure out the three goalie situation. It's not healthy for any three of them. And then find yourself how to fix this power play. Whether that includes firing Seth Appert, which I don't know how they do that on this stretch they are right now. I know the power play is god-awful, and it's been god-awful since he took over that part. But I just don't see how they can go in there and fire an assistant coach when he's helping this team. Because, I mean, he's also part of the offense there. He's part of the forward group. Like, they're scoring 5-on-5 for a reason. Yes, he's in charge of the power play, and that's god-awful. But I think the route is to go out and get a power play specialist. Like, they exist. Sam Reinhart, for the longest time before he took over in Florida, he was a power play specialist. Like, go out. Yeah, go get somebody that can help this power play, not even get into the top half of the league, just be respectable. Like, get a handful of goals every 3 games for this power play, and look what you can do. Like, these last 3 games, they scored 9 goals. I'm sorry, last 2 games, they scored 9 goals. 0 were on the power play. I mean, I know 2 were empty netters, so even if you take that away, 7. That's 3.5 goals a game that you're scoring without scoring on the power play. Imagine what this team could do if they were even halfway average on the power play.
Yeah, for the 2 games, the Montreal game, I think both of them, to me, while good, were definitely driven by their goaltenders. UPL played outstanding against Montreal, and then Lion played outstanding against the Islanders. And I don't think, like to call them lucky wins, I think is going too far. I think they were still good wins, and the scoring chances they did have in those games were impressive, high danger scoring opportunities, and they were able to finish those chances when they were able to get them. But especially the Islanders game, like, the Islanders looked like the better team for the majority of it, even though the shots were a little closer. And the Montreal game, they got 17 shots, which is just nothing. But we complained a lot last year about them having 32 shots, but the shots that they were getting weren't very good. They were just throwing them in from the outside, and that's not going to score. So I'd rather have 3 goals on 17 shots and an empty netter than them just whip, 40 pucks at the net and nothing happens. So I like that aspect, but the Islanders game especially, Lion bailed them out so many times and played just out of his mind. And again, they were able to capitalize when they did get the offensive opportunities to be able to score and bury those. And then the Islanders pulling the goalie with about 6 minutes left, I think it was, or something.
Yeah, it was up there.
And that was wild. But they were both really good games. Again, I think not as dominant as I would like to see, but you got wins. Like the 5-0 against Islanders doesn't show what the game actually was like. Like that was a lot closer of a game, and Line did a really good job in that one. Hellenis, what'd you say? Hellenis.
Yeah.
He still looked good. I don't know if he played in this last
He
one.
did. He was playing fourth line minutes, I think.
Yeah, I think Benson got moved around. They broke up the kid line that was doing so well that Lindy Ruff literally just complimented them, and they were the best line out there, and then he just blew it apart, and they didn't play as good. Benson still looked really good, but Zucker, I think, like you already mentioned, is the big one. That line alone, he looked really good, but the Zucker, McLeod, Quinn line looked really, really good now that he's back on it. So he's been a huge addition just from injury to this team. And now you're looking at in both those games, and I think even maybe the game before, that top line once again is looking not great. They've had flashes, but the top line's no longer the dominant line for the Sabres, and they need to pick it back up or find a way to get back in motion. I think like Tage was extremely hot for a while, and now he's really cooled off. He's had a couple goals here and there, but they've been not consistent. And even the goal, like the Benson pass, was incredible and a really, really great highlight. But that's like Tage benefiting from a great Benson play. I feel like that top line needs to pick it up a little bit, but overall, great wins.
Yeah, I'm also interested to see what this team looks like when they're at full strength. I mean, you don't even have Kulik out there right now if he's back at all this season. Josh Norris still is not back on the ice, and he's missed a ton of time.
Trade him.
You got, I believe it is Josh Dunn is still not in the lineup, who is playing fourth line minutes as well. You had Michael Kesselring in and out of the lineup, and Connor Timmins is out for a while longer with a broken leg. So a lot of these guys that you were expecting to play, I mean, in your
heavy
top
minutes.
12 and your top 6 of your defense are not there right now. So once they're back on the ice, imagine what else they can do. So it could be as simple for the power play as getting a Kulik or a Norris back. It could be as simple as, getting them back on the 5-on-5 play. So it will be interesting to see how much longer their time frame is. But I mean, they got a few more games until a 20-day break in the Olympics, and they're big games. I mean, you got Toronto, Montreal, you got Florida who's chasing you, Tampa Bay who's above you, and Pittsburgh who's chasing you. Yeah, I mean, in those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games, I think you want 4 of the 6. Like if you go into the winter break having 4 of the 6 and maybe 5 out of 6 points, games, 5 out of 6 games where you get a point, I think you're in the Olympic breaks fantastic, and you're sitting very, very nicely. I'm interested to see what this team looks like after that 20-day break. Like, do they still have this same momentum? Most times when you have this kind of momentum, you want to just keep rolling with it, but they're going to be in the Olympic break. You're going to have Tage, UPL, Darlene all playing during that time. It's going to be very interesting to see what this team looks like coming out of it. But by the time we get back next episode, they'll have played Toronto, and they'll be playing LA as we're recording. But getting into that top 3, man, that's something that I was not anticipating seeing. They're 6 points clear of the next closest team in Florida who's chasing them. But like, I'm not saying that they're pulling away, but they're sitting comfortably where I'm not saying that they can go on a big losing streak here,
right
but
now, which is the huge thing.
Yes, they have games in hand over Detroit, Montreal, and Boston, who's sitting right behind them. But you still got hot teams behind them. Florida's still terrifying. Toronto can go on a run. Washington's still sitting there. So there's still teams chasing them. And I'm going to be very interested to see how they react the rest of the way, because you still got, 31 games left of the season. So long time to collapse. Can't stop. Won't stop. This team will never watch their booty drop. I have no idea. We'll move on to the NLL here. 4 games to go over across the league for week 9. And we'll start out in Philly. Haha, I'm back on pace. I needed them to score 9 or fewer. They scored 7, so I got a 2-goal buffer right now. With them sitting a third of their way through their season, I got a 2-goal buffer, and I don't think I could have asked for much better than that. San Diego wins 9-7. San Diego outshot Philly 53-41, so continued to just pepper Demude. 12-8 in faceoffs for San Diego. San Diego 2 for 5 in the power play. Philly 2 for 4. Philly actually led 2-0 after 1, 4-1 at half, and 5-1 with 5:48 to go in the third quarter, and they blew it. That's the way the cookie crumbles. But I think the bigger story for San Diego is another big game from O'Rig, and San Diego's finding ways to win lower scoring games, which will help. But man, Zach Currier, man, is just something else. He's ridiculous. They're going to have to keep relying on him to play similar to he did last year, more offensive spots, which is in turn going to hurt their back end. I just don't think it's sustainable. Like we saw this last year, they need a lefty. They need to go out and get a lefty if they want to try to make this playoff run. And I mean, they're sitting 500. They're right in the thick of it.
Yeah, O'Rig is definitely the big story of this one. I mean, he was able to keep them in it as long as he did, and then kept them in it long enough for them to go on that comeback. I mean, without him and playing the way he did, I think this game gets even more out of hand. I mean, 5-1, like you said, with like under 6 to go in the third is a big deal. But realistically, I mean, as you see in this game, like 4 goals isn't that big of a deal to come back from. So for him to be able to hang with them and hang this team in there as long as he did, gave their opportunity the chance to come back. And like you said, Philly drops it, and we are 1 game closer to Buffalo Joe going somewhere else.
Sorry, my brother must be cooking chicken wings in this house because it's wafting all the way up here from the front of the house, and it smells delightful. So if you see my schnauzer moving around, it's because it smells good up here. Friday, 7:30, Vancouver takes down Ottawa, ends Ottawa's winning streak, ends Vancouver's losing streak, 12-8. Ottawa outshot them 50-40. Ottawa got the faceoff dot 13-11. Vancouver was 3 for 4 on the power play. Ottawa 1 for 3. Vancouver led 5-2 after 1, 10-3 in the second, and then 12-6 at half. It was 11-8 after 3, and Vancouver was able to keep them off the board. But I'm not saying Vancouver's offense is fixed or figured out, but I will say that I'm interested to see if they can continue this going, because their offense has been the issue this season so far. I know they're still sitting 4-2, so I mean, whatever. But I do think that they need to continue this rhythm moving forward if they want to continue to be one of those top dogs that everybody picked them to be in the offseason leading up to this season.
Yeah, this is the kind of game I think Buffalo is going to start winning more games very similar to this. Like if this was kind of the blueprint, I think, for Buffalo and Vancouver to beat Ottawa, which is, I mean, keeping Teats only 3 goals and 6 points total is perfectly fine. You kept Hellier off the board with 0 goals, and then the offense didn't do a ton, but they did enough to get the win, and you went 3 for 4 on the power play. So to me, these are the kind of goals or kind of games Vancouver is expected to win, like this style. And this is the kind of game that I want Buffalo to play and style more, just similar to what Vancouver did. I mean, you look at their offense, 2 goals, 2 goals, 2 goals, 2 goals, 3 goals. Like Buffalo needs to get a lot more of that. They need to stop being so Dane and Byrne heavy and get the secondary scoring, everybody to pitch in. Like this is the kind of like, again, this is to me the blueprint for what Buffalo needs to do this year to win games. Is very, very similar to Vancouver. You got a good defense, you got a great goaltender, and your offense is good enough to spread it around where you don't need anybody scoring 5-6 goals a game, but you need everybody on the team putting in 2 goals here, 2 goals there, 3 goals here, and then together it comes out to a 12-8 victory. I think Vancouver, like this is going to be their blueprint, and it's what I want Buffalo's blueprint to be kind of moving forward.
2 more. We'll flash forward to Saturday. Georgia wins in overtime off the stick of Lyle Thompson, 10-9. Toronto outshot them 57-49. Toronto was actually 4 of 5 on the power play, but it did not matter. They led 4-1 after 1, 6-4 at half, and 8-7 after 3, and Georgia came from behind to win it. Lyle still 2-1-3. He still doesn't look right. Like there's still something up in his game, but I mean, I think there are 2 stories of this one. I guess 3. Holochuk looked really good. He kept Georgia at bay and in a game that Toronto should have won, except, you know, their veteran forwards still aren't doing much. I mean, Matthews is still struggling up there. He's dishing out assists, but he's not scoring. Rogers is still he should be on the back end, but they're making him play righty forward for some reason because they don't have another righty forward. Bushi and Dowick still are not performing well on that right side after explosions last year. You're being carried by the rookies in Hiltz, in Kirst, and in Sam English when he gets some time up in the forward group transition goals as well. But you're looking at Georgia. I think they're the bigger story right here. Getting to 4-3 on this season. Their rebuild, retool, whatever you want to call it, was super quick. I finally loved that they finally did it. But Jacob Hickey was fantastic in this one. They got a bunch of transition goals when their offense wasn't flowing. And Dobson and net was phenomenal. To me, and I guess this could be a spoiler, he's one of my favorites to win MVP through the season so far. I mean, the stats are just unbelievable with him through 7 games so far.
He's really good. We've been saying that he's good for a long time now, and I think it just took a little bit more for us to really see it shine as much as it is. Like, this is outlandishly good. His numbers are just insane
Stupid.
and shouldn't really exist. He's always been really good, but he's been on a team that's been struggling for years to kind of bank on him and the defense, and the offense kind of throws in some goals here or there. But again, low scoring is what is going to win for Georgia, sadly, for their team. I think their offense still needs to figure some things out. Like you said, they're in the middle of a rebuild. They're not really expected to be where they are. And 9 times out of 10 right now, if you get Dobson 10 goals, you're going to win that game. So they're doing what they need to do to be on the right side of the playoff push. Toronto, on the other hand, I don't know. I really I do not like Toronto's team this year pretty much at all. I know like Hiltz and Kirst are fantastic. This is nothing against the rookies, but they shouldn't be dominating your team. They should be really good complementary pieces to your team or bonus additions to make your team that much better, but they shouldn't be number 1 and 2 on your offense. Like Dowick and Bushi need to be way, way better, and Matthews as well. And it's just, I don't know. If I was the rookies, I'd be annoyed that my veteran teammates are not stepping up and helping us get these victories when they're showing out the way that they are.
Yeah, I know when the trade was made, everybody thought one way, with Zach Mann's going to Saskatchewan and the picks going to Saskatchewan and Adam J going to Saskatchewan and Mark Matthews going to Toronto. They didn't win it all, and then Matthews got hurt last year. Don't you think that Toronto could use a guy like Zach Mann's right now? I know hindsight's 2020, but man, if revisionist history right here, if you could go back and not make that move, think of where Saskatchewan would be and think of where Toronto would be right now. Like, it would be vastly different situations right now, but you can't revisit history. You got to deal with what's on hand right then. Nick Rose is going to be out for a bit, and your veterans still, through 6 games now, are still struggling. Like, they need to make a move up top. A team, I guess 2 teams that made moves. Oshawa falls again to Colorado. Colorado gets a big victory, 15-11. Oshawa outshoots them. Colorado outwins them at the draw, and there weren't very many power play opportunities. Colorado was leading 5-3 after 1, 8-7 at half, and 12-9 after 3. Colorado is so confusing. You lose Ryan Lee, like the same game that you get Jack Anna, and your offense is just phenomenal. I mean, if I'm Buffalo and I use my bye week to watch Colorado right now, Colorado is very dangerous. Georgia,
am scared.
Georgia might be my biggest miss, but if they're not, Colorado's right there. I mean, they're sitting 5-2 right now. I didn't believe in their offense. I didn't believe in their defense. And
well, they didn't have Hannah at the time.
That's also, yeah, they didn't. But like, you kind of just swapped out Hannah for Ryan Lee. I still didn't think this offense was going to look the way it does this early on, and you're still expecting hopefully to get Eli McLaughlin back at some point, so they can just get that much better. I think it's time to say Colorado might be back as a legit threat in this league.
Yeah, I love everything that Colorado's doing right now. They look really, really good. I mean, their offense was just as balanced as it was impressive, with 7 players having 3 points or more. That is pretty ridiculous across the board. I know it helps when you put up 15 goals, but still really, really impressive. And Hannah actually led their team and caused turnovers with 3. Also really good to see from the forward group. That's what PK has been complaining about with the Bandits a little bit recently.
3 total. 3 total. Hannah got 3 in one game.
Yep. they're I don't know. Colorado is here. They look really really good. Ward looks really really good. Their team just seems complete right now. Like they're doing everything you possibly could ask for. This was a monster win for them and huge loss for Oshawa. This is going to be really tough. You already mentioned it going into this game. Oshawa's in trouble now. They have dug themselves into a huge hole, and it's going to be very difficult to climb out of it with currently 10 teams at 500 or better. Again, talked about it a lot. The middle playoff section of the NLL right now is so jumbled up and stacked, but the couple teams on the bottom, because of that, it's finding your way out of that is going to be that much more difficult because there's so many teams currently that are in theory in a playoff spot, and the teams behind them, it's going to be that much tougher to sneak in even to that 8th spot. There's going to be so many teams fighting for it, and Oshawa now has just put themselves in a really, really big hole.
Yeah, the biggest issue with Oshawa, yes, they're still in it because so many teams are at 500. Their biggest negative, they've already played 8 games. Right. They've got 10 games left, and you got to jump a bunch of teams. Like, if playoffs were to start right now, I don't think Buffalo's in it based on these standings. They're in the 9th spot based on NLL standings right now. Oshawa is in, like, they need to go 8-2 down the stretch to get to 10-8. Like, I think 10-8 is going to get you in the playoffs this year. 9-9 is going to be a stretch again. Like, if you want to secure your spot, you got to get 10-8. And right now, they can go 8-10 the rest of the way. And they still got a ton of, like, important games coming up. But you just traded for Dawson Thied.
8-2?
8-2. Thank you. They just traded for Dawson Thied, so that was their one big move. I mean, I don't know what else you can do to this team. Unless, I mean, something's got to change with this team. This is 2 years in a row they've had terrible starts to the season. So, Oshawa, you're like one more loss away from me completely rolling you out of this. So, I don't know what to tell you. We'll move on here. We'll look at the early front runners for awards for most teams that are now 1/3 of the way through the season, or for like Oshawa, for example, they're one game away from being halfway done for their season. We'll start with MVP. Phil, who are your front runners or front runner for MVP this season?
Yeah, right now for me, I have pretty much all offense other than I got a few. Dane Smith, Connor Fields, Jeff Teat, the big 3 that always seem to be in the running for MVP. And then Brett Dobson for sure absolutely needs to be up there. And then Callum Jones as well with the way he's playing on defense. I'd love to see somebody not named a forward win it, but if Jeff Teat continues the way he's playing and plays at a really high level, more importantly, finally gets his team into playoffs, I think it'd be really hard to argue against him winning.
Sorry, I'm super blurry still.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
Whoo, baby. This is fun times. If you're watching YouTube, I'm struggling hard over here. There we go. You can see the ugly mug clear now. I also have Jeff Teat up there. I also have Brett Dobson up there. I think you got to include Dylan Ward up there. I don't think if Brett Dobson wasn't having the season he was having, Dylan Ward would be right up there as front runner as well. And then the only other name you didn't mention that I have up here is Ryan Keenan. What he's doing with Saskatchewan right now is filthy. And I know a lot of his points have come in the last 3 or 4 games, but Saskatchewan's sitting what?
Is ridiculous.
They're sitting 6-1, I think, so far. I think you got to include Ryan Keenan on that list as well. Offensive player of the year, I think the names are going to be very similar. I got Jeff Teat, Ryan Keenan, and then I just added Connor Fields and Dane Smith to it. Like, the one issue I have with adding the offensive player of the year, which I think has kind of, I get their thought on adding to it because then you just don't give the top forward the MVP, but that hasn't really been the case since offensive player came in here. It's kind of like if you're the top offensive player, you're also going to be in the MVP awards. So it's kind of tough. That's why I had to throw in 2 goalies for MVP, because imagine where Georgia would be without Brett Dobson. Like, put
nowhere.
Who's a decent goalie? Like, put Nick Damoud on Georgia.
There you go. Yeah.
I don't think Georgia's sitting 4-3 right now. They're probably 2-5, something around those lines. And there's no shot at Nick DeBood. That's just how good Brett Dobson's playing right now. So for my offensive player of the year, I think I would just go add Jeff Teat, add Ryan Keenan again, and then add in Connor Fields and Dane Smith to that category.
Yeah, the only other one I have as I look up, Georgia Swarm's goal differential right now is 15, which is one of the higher ones in the league, but I don't think it'd be, like you said, anywhere close. I think they had some close wins.
And Georgia's averaging 10 goals a game. They had one game with 19, so factor that in there.
Yeah, so you take those out, and I think their record's very different. The only other one I threw in there, I know he hasn't played many games, but Q is off to a ridiculous start, return. And if he can keep up what he's been able to do, I know the stats won't probably be there because he did miss so many games, but he is second in the league in points per game, and he has a ridiculous 37.5 shooting percentage right now. Again, it's easy to have a high shooting percentage when you haven't had as many games, but second in the points per game in the entire league is pretty impressive. So I think if he can keep that up, I think he can at least dark horse challenge for offensive player of the year, but missing those games is going to be tough. Defensive
player of the year, who are your early candidates for this?
Yeah, to me right now, I only have one because it's kind of a runaway in my opinion. Callum Jones, I think he's the early favorite, and I know there's some other good defenders in the league, but his explosion onto the scene since being healthy has been ridiculous. Leads the league in caused turnovers with 20, second in loose balls with 76, and has 6 points to go along with it. He's just been filthy.
I fully agree. He is my top front runner right now, unless something happens and somebody catches up to him. I know we did this last year where it was like halfway through the season and it ended up being chaos at the end. But yeah, I would put Callum Jones in the driver's seat right now. I think you got to include both Hossick's, Graham and Matt behind him. And then Pat Gregoire, here's a shout out for you. Nick Chikowski. I mean, he's playing unbelievable. Sure. He is one of the better lockdown defenders, but now he's got the numbers to back it up. I think his name needs to be up in conversation as well. We'll do one more before the break here. Transition player of the year. I got a bunch of rush names here. Mike Messenger to me right now is the top leader in the clubhouse right now for transition player of the year, and Jake Boudreau's right behind him. Will Johansson, who I don't think got enough credit especially in rookie of the year last year, he's up there for me. Jordan McIntosh. I know part of the reason that I have him here is because he's been playing extra shifts up at the forward group, but then you also got to acknowledge that some of his back numbers are kind of affected here. So I don't know if he's going to have the numbers to go with the actual performance on the field, but I got him there. And then, of course, Nick Weiss. I think he's been a quiet assassin there. He's got the points and the numbers to back it up. I think his name at least has to be mentioned in transition player of the year.
What are we considering Zach Currier?
Zach Currier is... How has he not been mentioned? Yeah, he should be up there in MVP. He should be mentioned in the transition player of the year. So yeah, how did we miss him in MVP?
I don't know.
Scrub all this. Zach Currier is probably one of the top ones for MVP. Please, if you're just listening, don't pause it and then go make a comment now. Listen to the whole episode and then make a comment. We corrected. Good catch, Phil.
You're welcome. For me, Zach Currier is my odds-on favorite right now for transition player of the year. He's playing really, really well. And then my dark horse, who you didn't mention, which I'm happy you didn't, even though you had a interview. I forgot his name. Ottawa's interviewer.
Yes.
You think about that. But
sorry.
Brent Noseworthy, to me, is another dark horse for transition player of the year. I believe he's still able as a transition player. He's got 12 caused turnovers and currently is averaging a point per game. As his points have taken a huge jump this year, I think it's really important to kind of throw him in this. He's already passed his, career season high in points in a season in what he's already done so far. So if he can keep this up or even add a few more points throughout the year, like per average, I think he's an interesting dark horse candidate for transition.
Andrew Willemick. I apologize, yes. Andrew. My bad. It's been a long
I put weekend. You on the stop. That's fine.
We were watching our former foster puppy for 24 hours. He's such a sweet boy, but man, I remember how much work puppies are. He was a handful. But before we finish off the rest of the awards, let's dive into our sponsor of the episode, Tap That Tap Room at 363 Delaware Street in Tonawanda, New York. It's Buffalo's first women-owned self-pour bar featuring 30 consistently rotating taps. They offer a variety of beers, ciders, sours, seltzers, and malt beverages.
PK Tap That Tap Room has a number of upcoming events that our listeners need to check out. So I'm going to do the fastest event minute ever starting now. Tomorrow/today, Monday, January 26th, is a Mosaic Buffalo Plaque workshop with tickets still available. They have happy hour on Friday from 5 to 7 with the entire beer wall on discount. Saturday is the Sit, Stay, Sip Puppy Adoption event, partner with Open Arms Rescue of Western New York. That same night is the Buffalo Bandits Watch Party at, I want to say, 9 p.m., correct? Is that... Okay,
Yes.
We got a thumbs up. A few future events in February include the Super Bowl watch party, a pressed flower hanging lantern workshop, and finally a street light Valentine's Day party. You can check out all those events on their Facebook page, and you can go to their website to find out what's on tap and what's on deck at tapthattaproom.com. PK, they have something.
For everyone. That was about 50 seconds. Good work.
Thank you. And because we will see a lot of confusion about it, as I was just confused and wanted to confirm and forgot to, the NLL Buffalo Bandits schedule once again says 7 p.m. for the upcoming game because it is not based on Eastern time zone, but it is 9 p.m. because it's over in Colorado. So keep an eye on that.
Foolishness. Goalies. I think both of us have Brett Dobson as the early runaway leader right now. I think Brett Dobson and Christian Del Bianco are probably going to be honorable mentions. Doug Jamieson, what he's doing in Oshawa is not
Dylan
fair.
Ward, you mean?
Dylan Ward, yes. What did I say?
You said Brett Dobson twice.
Oh,
which is fair. He deserves it twice.
It should be. He should just be Brett Dobson all three times. Warren Hill, I know he's come off and slipped off a bit, but his numbers are still there. Frankie, Hartley. The goalies are having phenomenal seasons. I mean, there's really not any real goalies that are having tankers. But yeah, I think Brett Dobson is the far runaway. But I think the next two would be Ward and Chris Del Bianco would be the next two in line.
I do want to give a shout out to Grand Pro and NLLstats.com. We use their stuff all the time. And I'm going to steal some numbers for you right now. 8 goalies with at least an 80 save percentage, which is wild. 11 goalies with at least a 79 save percentage. That's insane. Those are numbers that you look for at the end of the year to be like, those are elite goalies. And right now you have 11 goalies at 79 plus. That's crazy. And the big stat I wanted to go over, which I still don't fully understand how it works, but the goals saved above average. And Brett Dobson is currently dominating the league at 25.34. You want to be in a positive number for this. Don't look at Matt Vince's. He's fine. He'll do great in playoffs. The next highest is 12.37 by Dylan Ward, 11.31 by Christian Del Bianco, 10.96 by Warren Hill. And then you see the drop off all the way to 3.35 by Nick Demuth. So those 4 goalies to me, which we've talked about a lot already this episode and throughout the year, are the elite goalies that'll probably be up there as the favorites at the end of the season. Really cool number. I guess it's essentially, it says it measures how many more or fewer goals a goalie has saved compared to a league average goalie facing the same number of shots. So if he faced the same number of shots as somebody else, he would save 25 more goals than anybody else. And to see that number and then drop off all the way to 12 for Dylan Ward, and then the 4th highest or 5th highest in the league is down to 3. All of those numbers are just insane.
Year of the goalie. 2 more awards to go
Really
through here.
is.
Rookie of the year. I think CJ Kirst is the favorite right now, followed by like Sam English and Owen Hiltz. So Toronto, again, the reason they're sitting where they are right now at 3-3 is because of the rookie class that came in. But Michael Grace needs to be announced. You got Nolan Byrne, who's having a good year out in Georgia. Noah Manning's quietly having a good season in Calgary. So I think, obviously, CJ Kirst is going to be everybody's favorite, being the number 1 overall pick last draft, but I think it's a new wave of rookies coming into the league that are all making a name for themselves. I mean, Sam English is probably not going to get the same recognition he deserves, same with Michael Grace, because they're not forwards, but they're having phenomenal seasons.
Yeah, I really hope Michael Grace's name gets thrown very much into the fire. He has 16 caused turnovers. It's number 2 in the league. For a rookie, that's insane. And on top of that, he's adding a average of 1 point a game with 7 points in 7 games. Again, for rookie defender, those numbers are really, really good. And for Kirst, like you said, he's doing amazing. He's on pace for 81 points, and you can add 7 caused turnovers to go with that, which is also ridiculous. So he's going to be really hard to beat, but I do hope Grace is very, very much thrown in there and not ignored just because he's a defender, because he deserves all the credit in the world for right now what he's doing with Georgia.
Last one, Coach of the Year. To me, there's a top three. I think Ed Camo needs to be up there. Pat Coyle needs to be up there. And Dan McRae needs to be up there as well. All three of those guys, I would not be shocked or disappointed to see any three of those. I mean, any one of those three are up for Coach of the Year and wins it. I think Derek Keenan / Jimmy Quinlan would be on the outside looking in for the top three right now because they're just steady Eddies playing phenomenal up in Saskatchewan. I think Saskatchewan's the one team that I'm most confident is going to make the playoffs and make a long run. But Coyle is doing something that I didn't have Colorado expecting to do. Ed Camo, same thing. I did have Ottawa up towards the top of my predictions, but first-time head coach doing what he's doing for a team that's never sniffed the playoffs. I think all three of those guys are top contenders for me.
Yeah, Dan McRae was my big one for this year as the new head coach and GM of Ottawa, like you said, and trying to get them into the playoffs for the first time ever, and finally gave Jeff Teat a partner on the other side, which the former people could not do for the longest time. So good on him. Good on him.
Or as Tino Farrell would say, Dan McRae. I had to. It was funny. Okay, we'll move on to the final one. It's time to get fancy, Phil, and our hoodies and hats.
I almost
fifth,
I think I have a bow tie over in the closet next to me, but they
just
don't
tie
deserve
your
it, so.
thing into it. Here we go. I'll do this.
Into a string.
I'm trying to do this with my eyes. This is great for audio. I can't do this.
We're both trying to tie our hoodie strings into a shoelace.
It's good enough.
Like a bow tie.
Good enough. I can't do it. That's fancy enough. Our fifth. Can you believe this is year 5 for these BSC award show? It's insane. We made it half a decade doing this, and we've still yet to see a Super Bowl. Phil's still going at it, and he can't even see it because it's behind his microphone.
There we go.
There it is. There it is. Perfect audio. We'll start. We got 7 awards to go through. MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Most Improved Player, Best Offseason / In-Season Edition, and the BSC Challenge, everybody's favorite award out of all these awards. We have prior winners. I went through the list, and I got all 4 years. This will be the 5th year of prior winners. Phil, are we ready for the MVPs? If you haven't listened to this so far, if you didn't listen to the nominees, again, this is your last warning. Pause it, go listen, then come back and play it from where you left off. We'll give you a second here. And here we go. MVP nominees. Last year's winner, Josh Allen. The year before that, in 2024, we gave it to Sean McDermott. And in 23 and 22, it was Josh Allen. This year's nominees, Josh Allen, James Cook, Deion Dawkins, Spencer Brown, Shaq Thompson, Matt Prater, and Cole Bishop. The award goes to Josh Allen. He has won it for the last 5 years. He's won it back-to-back years, and I do not think this... we picked him to win it before he was announced as a finalist for the NFL MVP.
We did.
So we were there first. Our award means more, but congratulations, Josh Allen. Another year of MVP status for the BSC award show.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. This team would be nowhere without him. It's self-explanatory. That's what an MVP of a team is. We did an interesting thought exercise the other day of if you took Allen off this team and gave this team any QB, and I'm not going to say random QBs who aren't good. We're going to say Stafford, who's up for MVP, or Lawrence, who's up for MVP. If you gave the Bills either of those really great QBs, this team wouldn't be good. They would not be good, and they are only good because of what Allen's able to do with his legs, with his arm, with his ability to just drag this team into victories and play hero ball and pull them from the depths of defeat. Allen is this team, and without him, even with another good QB, I really don't think this team is nearly as good.
Yeah, I mean, even if you just put in like an average quarterback like Sam Darnold, this team is not a playoff team.
No.
This team went where they did with, I mean, I think James Cook, his team also wouldn't be as good without James Cook, but put Mitchell Trubisky behind that team and give him some of the calls. Like, you're not getting the tush pushes without Josh Allen there. You're not getting the runs without Josh Allen there. You're not getting some of the unbelievable throws
Right.
without Josh
The
Allen there.
scramble
And
plays where he makes something out of absolutely nothing.
he was a freaking warrior too. Like, every bone in his body is bruised. Like, he might have surgery on his foot. So I think the clear and obvious, I mean, everybody's going to listen to this go, oh, yo, duh. But we actually had disagreement on this, and then we righted the ship. But yeah, I think Josh Allen is the clear and obvious MVP. We'll move on. Offensive Player of the Year. Last year's winner was James Cook. In 2024, it was Allen. 2023, it was Diggs. And 2022, it was Allen. Can James Cook pull off the repeat? This year's nominees for Offensive Player of the Year for the BSC: Josh Allen, James Cook, Khalil Shakir, Reggie Gilliam with his tushy-pushy hands, Spencer Brown, and Deion Dawkins. The award goes to... I was quick again. James Cook, back-to-back award winner. Congratulations, James Cook, the NFL leading rusher.
Yeah, I love Tushy Pushy Hands by Gilliam. I hope
He's got the tushy hands.
I hope that's his nickname. He is the Tushy Pushy Hands. Yeah, James Cook, PK said don't pay him. They went out and paid him, and he went out and grabbed the rushing title. The Bills were 8-1 when Cook had at least 100 rushing yards. They were 11-1 when he had at least 100 scrimmage yards, and they were 4-4 when he had less than 100 rushing yards. So that goes to show you right there just how impressive he was and what he meant to this team. Very, very close, like you said, to being MVP for all of those reasons. But he's easily, to me, the Offensive Player of the Year. Again, when he's under 100 rushing yards or just doesn't have an impactful game. Allen's hurt, the whole offense is hurt, and their record clearly shows that they were not nearly as good of a team when he struggled.
Yeah, so I was wrong. Just put in another thing, and like, I feel like I've been wrong way more times than I've been right on this show, and
that's all right.
That's fine. I don't care. Come in.
What are we, amateur experts?
You know, we're amateur experts. Amateur in bold, underline, italicized, capital letters. Yeah, I think James Cook, it just took his game to another level this season, and I think a lot of the reason for it is they played him more. Like, one of the big reasons why I was against paying him was because he was a part-time player. Yep. You can't pay part-time players that amount of money. The only knock I had against him was big-time fumbles. Like, the fumbles pop back up this season. He needs to get that under control next year. But again, this team, with the numbers that he put up, a lot of people could argue, like, how do you have Josh Allen as an MVP and not Offensive Player of the Year? They're very simple. The numbers James Cook put up were better than the numbers Josh Allen put up, but I feel like this team could get wins without James Cook. This team could not get wins without Josh Allen. To me, that's the biggest difference there. So that's why we have James Cook as offensive and MVP for Josh Allen. I think we had the same argument last year, and we said the exact same thing. So we're if there's anything about us,
say it again next year.
We say what we mean here. We don't really play up to the camera. Like, what we say is how we actually feel. We're not, except for Philly. That was my only bit, and I will keep that up. I don't care. As long as I keep losing, I'm going to keep playing that bit because it's funny. Defensive player, James Cook, your award is in the mail. Josh Allen, your award is in the mail. Wait by your mailbox, especially in the cold here. It's coming. It's coming. Relax. Defensive player of the year. Last year's winner, Terrell Bernard. Year before that, Taron Johnson. Year before that, Matt Milano. And the first year was Jordan Poyer. The only person on here that can win it again is Matt Milano. So maybe. Defensive player of the year, Gregory Rousseau, Ed Oliver, Deion Walker, Matt Milano, Shaq Thompson, Christian Benford, Cole Bishop, and Trey White. There were a lot of names up for this one because none of them had excelled seasons, but one of them was better than the rest, and here it is. Christian Benford. Congratulations. I think we were very hard on you to start the season, and then it was just like, okay, this is who Christian Benford is. He was one of the ones that they paid in the offseason that earned his contract besides James Cook. I absolutely loved everything I saw from Christian Benford. He went on the field, locked down their number one wide receiver, and he was a big reason why the defense was as successful as they were on the back half of the season.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of position of need talk out of me the rest of the way, but in a position of need, Benford was a steady presence as the CB1 for this team. like PK just said, you didn't hear his name talked about all that much this year, but as we often say about defenders, that's actually a good thing. You don't really want to be talked about. When you are talked about, it's usually for a bad reason. And none of his numbers really popped off. But again, when you're a lockdown CB1, that's kind of what you want. You're not going to see the numbers explode because other teams aren't going to throw at you as much. I think like Trey White had 10 passes defended and led the entire team. It's because people are throwing at Trey White all the time because he's not as good as Benford was this year. So he doesn't have the opportunity to have the numbers that some of the other players do, but that's, again, a good thing for his position and for, again, a position in need where the Bills needed somebody to be a true CB1 and have that position not be something that they worried about. He did a really, really good job.
Christian Benford, your award is in the mail. Rookie of the Year. Last year's award winner was Ray Davis. Year before that, Kincaid. 2023 was Cook, and 2022 was Gregory Rousseau. This year's nominees, Jackson Hawes, Max Hairston, Deion Walker, TJ Sanders, Jordan Hancock, Landon Jackson, and Dorian Strong. Gee, Phil, I wonder who won this one. Well, go to the drum roll. Oh, I almost said drum joke. Oh, that was a good one. Deion Walker, congratulations. I think he was a player that stepped up massively. He did not play as a rookie, and I think this is a position where you do not have to worry about it in the long run. I mean, he was a fourth-round pick, and he came in, and he could make the case for one of the best defensive players on this team right now.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of stats, Walker actually tied Benford for passes defended during this year with 4. And in the playoffs, he had 2 passes defended plus an interception, which is ridiculous for a defensive tackle. 12th on the team during the season in total tackles. And once again, like I said earlier, in a position of need where the Bills needed somebody to step up and be really, really solid. He was, and he was a, to me, pretty big surprise. I didn't expect him to have the year that he did. And he was, again, just in a position where the Bills needed somebody to be solid. He did a great job.
Congratulations, Deion Walker, you scary human. The award is in the mail. You can wait inside. Don't wait in the cold, because if we make you wait in the cold and it still hasn't arrived yet, he's gonna be really mad at us. I don't want him to be mad at us. Most improved player of the year. Last year's award winner was Dorian Williams. Year before that, Benford. 2023 was Hamlin, and 2022 was Dawson Knox. This year's nominees: Osiris Torrance, Cole Bishop, Trey White, AJ Epinesa, and Matt Milano. What did I do wrong?
No, keep going. Keep going.
What did I say wrong?
I'll bring it up in a second. Keep going.
Okay. Cole Bishop, Trey White, AJ Epinesa, Matt Milano, and Osiris Torrance. The award goes to Cole Bishop. Congratulations, Cole Bishop. I think this was one that was pretty clear. I think he took the biggest leap forward from where it was last year. And I guess an honorable mention, you can share this award with Jordan Poyer, because I do not think you win this one without Jordan Poyer coming back and playing in the backfield with you.
Real quick, can you name the most improved player winners again?
Dorian Williams, Benford, Hamlin, and Knox.
All right, so you really don't want to be a most improved player because it doesn't seem to go well for you.
Well, Benford.
I would say Benford, but 1 out of 4 is not great.
Yeah,
so
that's not great.
Maybe we'll pick somebody not named Cole Bishop so he can still succeed for this
Sorry,
team.
buddy. Buckle up.
But yeah, he led the team in total tackles with 85, was second in passes defended with 7, was first on the team in interceptions. And once again, it's getting annoying, but in a position of need, my goodness, did they need a safety. The Buffalo Bills needed Bishop to step up, and he did with the playing levels that he had this season. I'm not sure they make it as far as they did if he is what he was last year, or just isn't nearly as good as he was and wasn't able to step up the way he did. Last season, he only had 40 tackles and 2 passes defended. He often looked lost, and honestly, I think we were on here, I think a lot of people were on there saying he looked a bit like a bust because he looked lost 90% of the time. And I think that's what PK is mentioning with Poyer coming in, really kind of showing him the ropes, being that veteran leader for him and showing him kind of how to play the position correctly for what he could do. And after that, he really turned around and looked incredible this season. And again, I don't think the Bills get where they get without him playing to the level he was able to.
Yeah, he was always in the right position as well. And again, credit to Jordan Poyer coming in. That was a big move by Bren Bean that a lot of people made fun of, me included. I didn't like them bringing back Jordan Poyer, and he ended up having to play a big role on this team. And I think a big reason that they might have lost versus Denver is because they didn't have Jordan Poyer. I think a big reason why they struggled versus Jacksonville was because Jordan Poyer got hurt. So I think it will be interesting to see next year when Jordan Poyer is not a part of this team how Cole Bishop responds. But this team still needs a safety, but it's not because of Cole Bishop. They went from needing 2 safeties down to 1 because Cole Bishop did.
Yep.
I mean, he was playing for his job, to be honest. He was a early second round pick that was struggling. You can't go into year 3, Keon Coleman, still struggling, and expect to keep your job. So I think Cole Bishop really saved both Buffalo's, second round pick that year, and saved the position of needing, like, desperate, like having to spend a first round pick on a safety. So congratulations, Cole Bishop. Your award is in the mail. 2 more to go. Best offseason / in-season edition. This list is very long. Brandon Cooks, Joey Bosa, Shaq Thompson, Trey White, Jordan Poyer, Matt Prater, Mitch Wisnowski, or Wisnowski? Yeah, I said it right the first time. Mike Wisnowski. And then Josh Palmer. Man, I would like to know the average age of this. Like, Bosa's in his 30s, Cooks is in his late 30s, Thompson's late 30s, White, Jordan.
Poyer.
God, like, Jordan Poyer or Josh
Prater's
Palmer
40.
might be the only one in his 20s. That's ridiculous. Prior winners, 2025 was Matt Collins, 24 was Rasul Douglas, 23 was Daquan Jones, and we did not have this award in 2022.
Another award you don't want to win.
Yeah, because doesn't look like you're on the team besides Daquan Jones, and he stunk it up. I was right about that bold prediction. Best off-season, in-season edition, the award goes to... I wanted somebody else to win this one, but Phil gets the kicker award. Phil, take it away with Matt Prater.
Yeah, I did say I had to fight PK for this one a little bit, but without a kicker, this team, I think, would be in trouble. They had to rely on the 41-year-old assistant, high school coach or Pee Wee coach, whatever he was doing. He finished the year 7th in the league in accuracy with 90%. The highest percentage Bass has ever had is 87.5, way back in 2021. So for a 41-year-old, he performed better than the kicker that was established for this team. PK and I were both very worried about Prater missing the playoffs and what it could mean for the Buffalo Bills. And to me, that's why he becomes the best off-season edition or in-season edition. They brought in Badgley when he was injured. My goodness, PK was kicking him off the field the second he stepped on it and wanted somebody else. And again, I think that's why it's so important that Prater was here and how established and how great he was in the playoffs. He went 5 for 5, including 2 from 50 plus. So to have that addition and for him to be as good as he was and as consistent as he was, I think was huge for this team.
So a lot of people, when you're listening to this, you only get like an hour 15 of the discussion. You don't get the behind the scenes of all the talk we have behind closed doors and off the podcast. You get us like 2 hours every week and then an interview and an article and stuff like that. We're constantly talking about this kind of stuff. Phil's best case to win this one, because I wanted Shaq Thompson. My vote was Shaq Thompson. He wanted Matt Prater. His case to win this and what won me over very easy was just the simple name of Michael Badgley, and it brought fire into my eyes, and I was like, okay, you win. Matt Prater, champion. Matt Prater, use your walker to get out to your mailbox. Your award is in the mail. Last one, our favorite, BSC Challenge. Last year's award winner was Dalton Kincaid. You can take that for what you will.
That was
2024
good. I mean, when
was
he was
Shakir.
healthy, he was great.
2024 was Shakir.
Still good.
He's really good. Ken Dorsey in 2023.
Well, he's gone.
I don't know if he's in the league anymore. And then 2022 is Gabe Davis. He did a full circle, left, came back, and done with football now. BSC Award nominees this year. BSC Challenge Award nominees this year. Keon Coleman. I threw up a little bit. Cole Bishop, Tyler Bass, Josh Palmer, and Terrell Bernard. Yeah, we're still body bagging Keon Coleman. Sorry. Drum roll. Josh Palmer wins this one, and I think this one's pretty clear and obvious why. They paid you a lot of money. You weren't able to stay healthy. And the times they threw you the ball, I was excited for. I just didn't see enough of. So I think he's going to be on the team next year. You're going to need a lot more out of Josh Palmer. So to me, this is your BSC challenge. Just play better. Let's play better and be on the field.
Yeah, I mean the biggest points you already mentioned. The money is a huge one. One of the biggest concerns that everybody has with the Buffalo Bills is their wide receiver core is horrible. He's getting paid a lot of money to make that wide receiver core better. He wasn't on the field. If he can be on the field, even when he was on the field, still needs to be better. But he's a massive, massive talking point heading into next year. They need a much stronger wide receiver core. He's hopefully going to be a big part of it. And like the other one you easily could have picked is Keon Coleman, but I don't know what's going on there. I don't think anybody knows if he's going to be on the team or not. I know he's saying the right things as far as being body bagged, like you said in that press conference. I think he's already said like, oh, he's ready to get back out there and play hard, and he's saying all the right things that he might come back. But I don't know what this organization thinks of him. So Josh Palmer,
I think we know what the organization.
Well, that's true. That's true. But as the wide receiver that is going to be established on the team and making a ton of money, Palmer needs to be able to step up.
So congratulations to you 7 award winners. Your awards are in the mail, but because of the weather and, time frames, the Postal Service is always giving us headaches. Just wait by. Well, it'll be there eventually. So congratulations to you 7. Phil still got his bow tie rocking. Now we can actually see it above his microphone. That wraps up this episode. Next episode, we will go over and review what our bold predictions were for the Buffalo Bills. How did those fare? I don't even remember half of mine, so this is going to be a fun review of that. See how we did. If maybe we can go above 500 for both of us. I don't think we can, but we'll find out what those were on the next episode. Sabres got one game versus Toronto on Tuesday that we'll talk about. We will preview Colorado versus the Buffalo Bandits that are taking place 9 o'clock on Saturday. Remember, 9 o'clock Eastern Pacific time. This coming week, remember, we got an interview with somebody from the Colorado Mammoth coming out on Wednesday. Then our BSC pickem. Remember, Twitter, Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, you can vote. On Instagram, it's in the story on Tuesday and Wednesday. Go vote there if you want to participate. All 3 of us were 4 for 4 this week. So none of us gained any ground and none of us lost any ground. Fantastic week for all 3 of us. If you want to participate, 100%. Just go on Twitter or Instagram, vote there, and then the power rankings will be out after that. But that wraps up this episode. Want to thank everyone for listening to another episode of the Buffalo Sports Collective, as I'm looking for the outro. There we go. Thank you to Tap That Tap Room for sponsoring this episode and this podcast. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Buffalo Sports Collective, and on X and Blue Sky at Buffalo Sports Co. Visit our website at buffalosportscollective.com. Follow our channel wherever you listen to podcasts, and make sure you leave us a review on Apple and Spotify. If you're driving around on Monday listening to us, make sure you're safe because it's going to be a tough drive out there. But until next time, bye-bye.